am so excited to go live with you today. Listen, I am going to talk all about how to have intentional profits in your business. Here's what happened for a lot of entrepreneurs, for a lot of scaling consulting firms, which are the type of clients that we work with the most. You know how to bring in the revenue, right? You know how to earn the money, but then you find that the money is not transitioning to your bank account. And so you go through this feast or famine cycle in your business, this financial roller coaster, and you're trying to figure out how to get on the right side of your cash flow. And so I created this entire toolkit that's going to identify exactly how to take the money that you're earning and not only earn the money, but keep the money. How to ensure that you say yes to profits in business intentionally and consistently. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me go ahead and share my screen. If you're joining me live, put hashtag live. If you're joining a replay, put hashtag replay. If you're on YouTube, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this episode with your CEO friends. Okay, so here's what you have to first understand. Revenue is not your problem. You see, for most scaling consulting firms, for most scaling businesses, they think, oh, I don't have money in my bank account, so revenue is my problem. Revenue is not your problem, right? You don't need to sell more. You don't need to hustle harder. In reality, when you don't have the profit level and cash flow that you want, you're missing some things. You're missing the financial strategy, the financial structure. You're making reactive decisions instead of proactively leading your business with intentions, okay? When you don't have the right financial strategy, structures, and systems in place, revenue can grow tremendously. You can be at a multi-6 or 7-figure business. Like for a lot of our clients, they're between 500,000 and 5 million in annual revenue. But you'll still have unpredictable profit and cash flow will be unstable because you're not controlling the money proactively. You're reactively trying to figure out if you're profitable. And if you're operating reactively, you're never going to be as profitable as you want. And so to fix this problem, I want you to implement what I call the intentional profit methodology. And we're going to talk about that. And that will fix your money problems if you implement it the correct way and you use the intentional profit toolkit that I've created. So intentional profit means you're designing profitability on and with purpose through proactive financial strategy and structure, clear margins, and disciplined execution, okay? Intentional profit is the disciplined practice of generating a profit on purpose and not by chance. Hear me clearly, okay? It means that as a CEO, you're proactively designing profitability into your business through deliberate financial strategy, structured decision-making, and consistent, profitable, proper execution. You see, profit is planned in advance, right? Profit is protected throughout the year. Profit is measured intentionally and proactively rather than what happens after everything, rather than what remains after you've spent money, okay? A business that operates with intentional profit does not rely on revenue growth alone. It operates based on clear margins, based on informed decision-making, based on a CFO level visibility that looks into the future while it's standing here today to ensure that profit is created, that profit is sustained, that profit is measured, and that profit is repeatable. Y'all got it? Let me know in the comments if you got this, okay? In short, intentional profit is the shift from hoping the business is profitable to leading the business to ensure profitability, to ensure that you say yes to profit. So what I'm going to do is walk you through how to implement this in your business. Matter of fact, I encourage you to download the Intentional Profit Toolkit, which is a plug and play template and a profit assessment that will help you become intentional at the ability to consistently say yes to profit. So you want to click the link in the description, or you want to go to toolkit.sayyesToprofits.com to download the Intentional Profit Toolkit. Okay. Now, Here's what you need to understand before we shift to the toolkit. Profit is not an outcome. Profit is not a reward. Profit is a decision, okay? You decide to be profitable every service, every month, every quarter, every year, every single time, okay? In order to make that decision and that decision stick, and it allows you to smile when you log into your bank account, you must understand your cash flow and not guess at what's going on with your cash flow. You must plan for profitability in advance and not have leftovers. You must grow your business with financial control and not chaos. You must have the systems, the strategy, the structures, the support in place to intentionally be profitable in business. Hear me clearly. So I'm going to give you the toolkit as part of your system, but you want to make sure you're not operating reactively, because when you are, profit will never happen because you're not operating correctly. I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down, because when you implement things like this, money is not a problem. But when you don't implement things like this, you'll find yourself in this same position next year, wondering what happened. And what happened is that you did not take action and you did not put the right financial system structures, tools, and support in place to ensure that you say yes to profits consistently. Is this making sense, or is this making sense? Let me know in the comments. Now, here's what you need to understand, and then we'll get into the toolkit. Intentional profit requires a few things. It requires planning at the beginning of the year. And so we're already past the beginning of the year. So if you have not planned yet, you're a little bit behind, but no worries. I got you. Download the toolkit. It means making decisions, cash flow decisions based on visibility. And so you sit here today and you look into the future and you see how much is coming in, how much is going out, and why. And I'm going to show you how to do that with the toolkit. It means aligning your expenses with your strategic and financial priorities in advance so that you don't have more money going out than what's coming in at any given time of your business. You know when to send the invoices and what the terms should be and how to be aggressive at collecting your money so your expenses align with your financial priorities and you achieve your profit and cash flow goals, and you're not just earning revenue. An intentional profit also requires you to lead your business with financial discipline. And here's the thing. A lot of business owners, let me say this real clear so y'all can see me. A lot of business owners do not have that financial discipline that they need to manage their money. And they wonder why they're earning money, but they still feel broke. They wonder why they stay on this financial feast or famine roller coaster up and down, is because they lack financial discipline. But when you have financial discipline in place, money is easy. And here's the thing, you make decisions based on the data, based on what you see and not on emotions. But a lot of businesses can't do that because they're not implementing the systems, the strategy, the structures for that to happen. Hopefully y'all are getting what I am talking about, because it is time out. It is time to put a pause and a complete stop, not a pause, a complete stop on stressing and struggling about money and cash flow in your business. Because when you have the tools in place, you make decisions from a place of power and not stress, struggle, chaos, and guesswork. But when you don't have the tools in place, money is hard, and money does not have to be hard. So let's go ahead and download the Intentional Profit Toolkit. And if you go to toolkit.sayyesToprofits.com, you can get access to this toolkit so you can begin to use it in your business. So I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to briefly go over how to use this toolkit, okay? So when you have this toolkit, you want to click File and Copy to make a copy of it so that you can use it with ease on your own Google Drive, all right? Once you click File and make a copy, you have 3 tabs that you're working with. An income tab, you have a balance sheet tab, as well as your cash flow forecast. Why did I include these 3 tabs? I included these 3 tabs because these are the things that you need to pay attention to. Your income shows you your revenue and your expenses that you've earned for a particular period of time. And whether you have a net profit, meaning you earn more money than you spent, or you have a net loss, meaning you spent more money than you earned. You should know that, but you shouldn't stop there. Most business owners make the mistake of stopping right there, okay? So you want to make sure you don't make that mistake. Then you're going to look at your balance sheet. Your balance sheet is your assets and your liabilities and your owner's equity. You always want to have more assets than you do in liabilities. If you have more liabilities than assets, you're operating your business upside down. And so you want to keep track of that as well. And then your forecast allows you to see all of the money coming in and going out of your business at all times. The toolkit is plug and play. All you got to do is plug in your numbers. And when you plug in your numbers, it'll spit out the financial data that you need to make wise and strategic decisions. So again, go to toolkit.sayyesToprofits.com in order to download this so you can get ahead of your money. You can be proactive and powerful and lead your business so you intentionally and consistently say yes to profits. So let's say that you have a service and you have a few products that you use in your business. And let's say that you know you're going to earn $30,000 on the income statement in January, and then in March or February, you're going to earn $5,000, and in March, it's going to be $10,000. You would plug this information in here. It's going to tally it up. So no matter how many products, I spelled that wrong. Hold on. There we go. No matter how many products, and I'm going to put services right here, or services that you have, it'll total it up for you here. And then it's going to total it up for the year. And so again, now you're able to see in advance. Then you would list all of your COGS, which are your direct costs, your out-of-pocket costs. And so let's say we know that you're going to have, $2,500 in January. You're going to have $35,000 in February and $600 in March, right? And you can do this for every month going forward. Then you list your supplies, and you're going to include any other COGS, direct costs that you would have in your business, and it's going to total it up again. Now you go to your everyday general operating expenses, and you would list those as well. So I'm going to just throw some numbers in here so you all can see how the toolkit works, okay? And you just go down the list, and I've given you some of the common ones for scaling consulting firms, but I've also left other columns so you can put your numbers there too. Now, let's say you've went through and you've put everything. What this is going to show you is your projected net income each and every month as you enter this information. And so if you sit here today and see you're going to have a loss in February, what actions must you put in place today? What must you do today to ensure that loss does not happen? That is how this works. That is when you go from being reactive to proactive at growing your business so that money is not a problem. All right, boom. That's the first part. Then you go to your balance sheet and you list all of your assets and all of your liabilities. So let's say we do that, right? We project what this is going to be. What you're trying to do here, again, is see where my money is going. Am I going to be profitable? Am I going to have cash in my business based on what's happening in my company, right? And when you get to your balance sheet, here's the thing. Your total assets and your total liabilities and equities must be equal. And if they're not equal, that means you're missing something in your formula, and they must equal the same amount for these bottom line numbers. And you can go back and fix that. All of your assets are everything that you own, and all of your liabilities is everything that you owe, and all of your equity is your worth, right? And so that's what you're going to put here to see how your numbers are faring. And as you're putting this information here, it's going to tell you, one, do your total assets equal your total liabilities? And two, for your total liabilities, are they more than your total assets? Because if your liabilities are more than your assets, you're operating your business upside down. Get it? Got it good? Okay. Then you go to your balance sheet. Now, I've designed the balance sheet for you to do it every single week in advance so that you are more granular at seeing what's happening with your money. So let's say you're sitting here today and you have $50,000 in your bank account. You're going to put that there for the beginning cash balance. But now you start to put how you're operating your business. So let's say you have consulting as revenue, and you know that's going to come in. You have coaching, you have products, right? You would put that information here on what you think is going to come in every single week for the next week in your business, for the next several weeks in your business. And then you would put what's going to go out. So let's say we do that here, right? And I've put some things here, but you can adjust it as you see fit. What this is showing you is your projected net income for that week and your projected ending cash balance for that week, right? Once you put this information in here. So I'm just plugging things in so you can see how this works. Now, let's say that you know that you're going to actually have a week where, let me make it a little bit more realistic for you. Okay, so we had an ending cash balance of positive for week 1, but then in week 2, we have a loss, right? You have a net ending cash balance is at a loss. You have more that went out in cash than came in. And then we're going to say in week 3, it went back up. You see how this works? Now you're able to see what's happening with not just your income, but also your cash here based on all methods of money moving in and out your business. So here's a trick for you. You want to make sure that you're profitable with net income, more revenue than expenses, and you have more cash, positive cash at all times. When you find that that is not the case and you're looking in advance, you can fix this so that money does not continue to be a problem in your business. So again, I encourage you, download the Intentional Profit Toolkit by going to toolkit.sayyesToprofits.com and understand this. Profit is not your reward for hard work. Profit is the result of leading your business well. It ensures that you operate with intentions. It ensures that money is not a problem for you. So I encourage you to download this toolkit so you're not at Q2 and money is still a problem. So you're not operating your business and wonder why you're still on this feast or famine roller coaster. It's time to stop that today by being proactive at growing your business. So go to toolkit.sayyesToprofits.com, download it today so money is not a problem and you intentionally, okay, say yes to profits in business. All right. Now, if this was helpful, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and share this episode with your CEO friends as well. I am Dr. Octavia Conner. And until next time, say yes to profits, everyone. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. Now it is time for you to make money moves. Take action based on what you learn. Now, see you on the next episode. Say yes to profits. Toodles.